nag-i-improve, hindi rin natin pwedeng sabihin lumalala, parang hindi rin mahirap sabihin. And that's why I'm recommending to postpone school opening in case MECQ will be continued in this area, namely NCR, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal. No, dahil itong mga lugar hindi naman again, no, hindi nag-i-improve at napakahirap sabihin kung ano ang mangyayari. And this year's school opening is very challenging at best. No? And I know there are a lot of issues that we need to resolve and a lot of tasks that we need to resolve. But I wholeheartedly support the school opening this coming August 24 because we need to make sure that learning continues and no one will be left behind. Dapat ho, kahit na sa ganitong pandemya, wala pong batang maiiwanan sa pag-aaral, lalo na yung mga mahirap nating mga kabataan. GCQ at mabubuti na yung sitwasyon ho natin. Pero meron kasing supervening event. Ito yung pagbalik natin sa MECQ. No? And itong pagbalik natin sa MECQ in NCR, in Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, created a lot of uncertainty. I'll give you a very specific uncertainty. Yung mga teachers natin at principals ngayon, hindi nila alam kung itutuloy nila yung distribution ng self-learning modules house to house under MECQ. So ngayon, kahit printed na, based on my survey and information, walang nagdi-distribute. Dito sa amin sa Valenzuela, hindi pinadistribute kasi nga takot ang ating mga guro at baka ma-infect sila. Ngayon, magkakaroon ng decision whether, and next ang question ko is, itutuloy ba itong MECQ o babalik tayo sa GCQ? At malalaman lang natin yung sagot na yan, typically on the last day, which is August 19, no? Because that is the last day of the 2-week MECQ. Ngayon, kung August 19, hindi itutuloy ang MECQ, ibababa tayo sa GCQ, we have 5 days till August 24. Kaya ba i-distribute yung mga self-learning modules from August 19 to August 24 when the class opens? That's number one question. And then number two, assuming matuloy ang MECQ in these areas, what will be the decision of the Department of Education? Because obviously, under MECQ, our teachers will be put at risk pag di-distribute nila yung mga materials. It's not only our teachers, yung mga kabahayan natin, kasi gagalaw ngayon, magdi-distribute bahay-bahay nationwide. So, first question is, kaya ba from August 19 to August 24 mag-distribute ng self-learning modules? At pangalawa, assuming ma-extend itong MECQ, what will be the decision?
Mr. Chair.
My point, Yusek, no? The reason why we move to MECQ is because the situation is worsening, no? And we need to arrest that situation. And ang pinaka-basic component ng learning continuity plan is yung self-learning module na i-deliver bahay-bahay o pipick upin sa school. Pero paano natin gagawin yun if the situation is worsening? Yun ang punto ko eh. And we don't have any way of predicting after August 19 kung mag-i-improve o hindi mag-i-improve ang situation. And there's also a big chance na baka ma-extend ang MECQ, no? Because I know for a fact that some doctors are requesting ma-extend in MECQ at least. So my point of the matter is how can we mobilize yung teachers ho natin if the situation is worsening? No? And this goes to the point ni Senator Francis na kaya ho in-enact itong bagong batas natin, itong RA 11480, is para kung nag-worsen ang situation at lumala talaga yung sitwasyon, meron tayong ganitong batas na pwedeng magbigay ng flexibility. My recommendation is kung ang areas ay ma-extend ng MECQ, we should just postpone school opening on those areas. Because hindi natin pwedeng palakarin ng mga guro natin, palabasin ng mga magulang natin sa isang kondisyon na na lumalala. Kaya nga ho tayo nag-MECQ dahil lumalala ho yung sitwasyon. At sasabihin natin, sige, labas kayo at di-deliver ho natin yung mga materials natin. Yun po talagang magkakaroon tayo ng malaking problema sa ating mga guro at sa ating mga lugar. So ang recommendation ko, kung ang MECQ po ay ma-extend, we trigger itong bagong batas, itong RA 11480, para po i-postpone yung class opening doon lang po sa lugar because the condition is worsening. Talaga hindi yung nag-i-improve at hindi naman kasalanan ho ng DepEd na hindi ho nag-i-improve in situation. Talagang ganun po yung nangyari. So, in other words, hindi natin pwedeng pilitin yung mga guro natin, even non-teaching personnel, na mag-distribute sa isang lugar na lumalala. That is my recommendation because right now, the situation is quite uncertain. No? Hindi natin pwedeng nag-i-improve, hindi rin natin pwedeng sabihin lumalala, parang hindi rin mahirap sabihin. And that's why I'm recommending to postpone school opening in case MECQ will be continued in this area, namely NCR, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal. No, dahil itong mga lugar hindi naman again, no, hindi nag-i-improve at napakahirap sabihin kung ano ang mangyayari. Obviously, the situation is not improving. So the situation is still the same and might be getting worse. That's why it's MECQ. So the recommendation is in those areas that MECQ will be continued, then i-postpone na lang muna natin yung school opening. That is what the spirit of the law is or the new law is. Itong RA 11480 is to anticipate situations like this. Yun lang naman po yung sinasabi natin. And kay Yusek Malaluan, if I recommend also to talk to, when you talk to the good secretary, to already seek guidance from the president a few days earlier, maybe 2 days earlier, maybe 3 days earlier, para makaplan po on the ground. No? Because kung magde-decide ho tayo last day, napakahirap po gumalaw kasi kung magde-decide ho na ida-downgrade sa GCQ, from August 19 to 24, we're talking about only 5 days for the divisions to move. No? So ang recommendation ko rin is to talk to the president early on so to seek guidance para alam ng mga divisions kung anong gagawin.
From ULAP, what is the sentiment of the local government units? Are we ready by August 24? Are we going to be ready by August 24 in terms of opening classes? From a local government standpoint.
Yun nga, Senator, Mr. Chair, kasi talagang depende sa context talaga eh. So, lalo na kunwari, siguro I would presume na kung nasa urban setting or highly urbanized in the metro area at marami namang area covered by internet and most families have gadgets, or just in the case of Valenzuela, the mayor has a strong program subsidizing gadgets, then possible siguro dahil pwede nilang gawin sa bahay. Pero kung yung mga malalayo, medyo iba talaga ang sitwasyon, Mr. Chair. And that's why contextualization will be, in my own opinion, very, very important. I'd like to share with you though that the League of Provinces, which is one of the pillars of the ULAP, as a member of the ULAP, no, has expressed a recommendation to again postpone the opening. So that is the position of the LPP as by Governor Velasco in many forums that we have opened this topic. Yun siguro ma-share ko sa inyo. Pero sabihin ko po, Mr. Chair, context plays a very important role kasi ang hirap pong magpataw ng isang rule sa isang bansa na iba't iba po yung sitwasyon. And congratulations to Valenzuela for your great initiative.
Thank you, Gov. Well, definitely that's the direction right now. No, August 24. is the school opening. But there's an uncertainty right now yung mga areas under MECQ, no? And whether matutuloy ito o hindi. No? So I recommended to DepEd kung matutuloy yung MECQ, then we should postpone school opening because obviously the MECQ is a signal that the situation is not improving. Well, we have to admit, no, kung ang situation ay lumalala, then may mga limitations rin tayo sa gagawin natin. And part of this learning continuity plan is physical movement. No? Yung pagbibigay ng yung self-learning modules, yung mga parents pupunta sa eskwelahan, meron talagang physical movement. And wala naman kagustuhan na lumala yung sitwasyon. No? In fact, I was really hoping for the best na by August 24, mag-stabilize situation. But we just need to admit that the situation is becoming quite uncertain. Sabi nga ni Governor Dax, hindi nga niya alam kung saan nanggagaling because it's really very uncertain right now. Ang sinasabi ko lang naman is the situation right now, and it seems to me that it's not improving. No? At we just have to respond accordingly if the situation is not improving. That's why we created that law, is to give DepEd the flexibility to postpone school opening. But of course, that decision will rest on a bigger picture that the President and IATF will analyze. But on the ground, no, ang naririnig ko lang kasi on the ground, Yusek, yung mga teachers natin talagang pag sinabi mong school opening, ang nasa isip nila, lalabas sila at magbibigay ng itong self-learning modules. In fact, if you look at all of the dry runs, meron talagang physical movement. Lahat ng video may physical movement one way or the other. But again, no, this is a recommendation. That's my personal recommendation. Ang League of Provinces, my personal recommendation. Si GovDax, my personal recommendation. And you just have to take into consideration all of these recommendations because these are coming from the ground and also from people that we are in touch with.
Mr. Chair,
Mm-mm.
we really appreciate talaga pong paggaling po sa inyo, Mr. Chair, at kay Gov. Dax at sa lahat po ng ating mga senador. Talaga pong pinapahalagahan po yan ng ating Ma'am Liling Briones. At alam niyo po yan, Senator Win, kaya nga po kaagad-agad she asked us to arrange a briefing para po marinig po namin ng President. We will po, Mr. Chair, at dadalhin po lahat ng sinabi niyo po sa ating
Right.
kaligay. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
I'm hoping for the best na institusyon natin ay mag-improve. We're all hoping for the best. So with that, would like to again open the floor to any comments, any last comments po on the topics at hand. Kung meron ho kayong gustong i-raise about the update or the bills, feel free po to just raise your hand or speak on the microphone. Kung wala naman po, would like to end this hearing. Let me just remind DepEd for some submissions as requested by the senators. Number one, yung timeline po nung IRR, Yusek Umali, sa requesto ni Senator Tolentino. Number two, yung underutilized private schools. This will come from the private sector, the private school group, kay Attorney Erap. And number three, yung security as to the support that we will give our teachers in terms of health, in terms of aftercare, in terms of testing. So that will come from USEC and Sevilla. No, so please submit this to us on or before August 19, which is 1 week from now. So with that, thank you very much for your time. I went 1 hour overboard from our intended adjournment, but maraming salamat po sa inyong comments, and feel free, no? So to everyone, feel free to send us your position paper on the matters that we discussed earlier. Yusek Kumali.